What is going on YouTube? I'm Lamont at Large. Today we are in the Blue Ash section of Cincinnati, Ohio. We're going to talk about the curious case of one Edna Jester, a woman who told those boys in this very neighborhood, she told those boys, stop throwing your balls in my yard. I'm getting sick of it. One little kid wanted his football back. She said, no. Not only did he never get his football back, she ended up taking that ball right to her grave. Edna Jester was born Edna King on December 19th, 1919 in Winfield, Tennessee. She met a man named Clyde Vanover and they had 3 beautiful children. And then they got a divorce. Maybe things weren't working out. Okay. Later on, she married another man named Charlie Jester, and everything was a-okay. She ended up settling down here with Charlie in this neighborhood in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, back in October of 2008, at that time, Edna was an 89-year-old widow. Okay, you're living your golden years in this quiet neighborhood right here. And, you know, maybe Edna, she didn't want to be bothered, okay? She lived a nice, long life. For many, many years, she worked as a laundry attendant at an asylum here in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. And, hey, she's retired. She wants to sit back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of her labor. Kind of like that man across the street, just sitting on your porch. Hey, you're minding your own business, doing whatever it is that you do best. And one thing that she liked doing, she was still active at that age, and she loved tending to her garden. But the one thing she did not like, and that is kids playing too closely to her house, especially when they would throw her balls in the yard. They would probably mess up with her rose bushes or what have you. She did not like that. If a kid lost their ball in the yard, she would tell them, knock it off. She'd give him a warning, fair warning. Next time I see that ball, the ball belongs to me. Now, the rules of street ball are as follows. If you're kicking a ball, you're hitting a ball, you're doing something with a ball, rolling it, whatever it is that you're doing, whoever kicked or hit or threw the ball into whatever yard, whether it be a vicious dog or some person like Edna who, you know, you don't want to get on her bad side, the person responsible has to risk their life to venture in that person's yard to retrieve said ball. Now, in October, the middle of October-ish, 2008, a little boy lived next door to Edna Jester, and his first football, as the story goes, his first football, he's proud of that football as his first. And he's throwing it with his friends. He's pretending he's Tom Brady or whoever his favorite quarterback is. Woo! Plop. Uh-oh. Oh, no, kids. Oh, no. It just landed in Edna's yard. Ah, great. Ah. And Edna, the steel-eyed eagle that she was, she seen that ball. And they seen that ball. And you can imagine there was a stare down. And Edna, she was springy. She was 89, but very springy in her step. She jumped up out of her chair, somersaulted to that ball, scooped it up from the ground. She raised it up like a trophy in the sky, kind of like Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. The power is hers now. She looks at that little boy, and she's throwing the football up in the air. And she spikes touchdown right on her grass, because that's her property. And she says, guess who has a new football? Yeah, Edna Jester. Thanks, kid. Thanks for the football. See you later. And the kid's like, wait. Oh, yo, hey, wait a minute. Yo, what happened over here? That's my first football, lady. I need it back. She says, no, my name is not Lady. My name is Edna Jester, and I told you. If your ball or any of you little ruffians' balls land in my yard, it's mine. Now, Edna Jester lived right here at 4916 Myrtle Avenue. Now, that's not the original house because the person that bought the house after she passed, they tore her house down and they built this house. So it's a nice looking house, okay. But you can imagine this house looked quite a bit different back in those days. It was probably like a lot of these houses in this neighborhood is probably smaller. This is one of these up and coming neighborhoods where people just come and they'll buy your house and they just tear it down and build up their own house. And a lot of young money moving up into this neighborhood right here. Now, some people are easier to deal with than others, right? But Edna was a very loving woman. She had 3 beautiful children who gave her several beautiful grandchildren, and they gave her several more beautiful great-grandchildren, right? She was a very, very loving woman. All she asked for in life is just don't throw your balls in my yard, kids, please. That's all she wanted. So this kid wanted his football back, and she said, nah, it's not happening, kid. You're never going to see that ball ever again. It's mine now. It's property of me. So this little boy goes to tell his mom and dad, hey, that mean lady next door won't give me my football back. So the father's like, oh, well, let adults handle it. I'll go over there and I'll explain to her what's going on here. The football wasn't cheap. It was about $15 back in those days. So today it'd be about, I don't know, with the inflation going on here, maybe about $25 or so. And so the dad goes, knock, 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 knock to her door. And he's like, hey, listen, my kid dropped, he threw the football in your yard. Can we get the ball back? And she says, no. Just like that. And he says, what do you mean, like, no, just give the ball back? And she says, you mean this football? This one right here? This one? And he's like trying to grab it from her. She's just playing keep away. You're not getting that ball back. I don't need to explain why I'm not going to give you the ball back. It doesn't matter. Because if I give you that ball back, that ball is going to land in my yard again. I have many balls from many kids from many, many different decades. I got baseballs, tennis balls, footballs, soccer balls, kickballs, all kinds of balls, tennis balls, any kind of ball. Anything that lands in my yard, it's mine. I got a collection. I got like a Smithsonian Institute downstairs in my basement of all these balls and all these children that have landed in my yards, and I've warned them. Don't throw your ball in my yard. They did not listen. Your child is not special. I know you think your child's special. Yeah, you think your kid's smart. You think he's going to go to college and become a doctor. Nah, your kid's not special. He's going to be just like those other kids whose balls I have in my basement that they will never see again. You're not getting the ball back. Scram, beat it, move. Make like a tree and leave. Beat it. The ball's mine. Now, maybe she didn't say it like that, but I would have. So, this guy, not wanting to lose this fight, says, well, you know what? How about I call the police on you? And she laughs. Go ahead, I don't care. Call the police. I could care less. You want to use my phone? Huh? You want to use my phone to call the police on an 89-year-old woman? So this schleptidle weasels his way off her property, goes into the house. He's like, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police. Okay, cool. Go call the police. So he calls the police. And they arrive. And now the police, they got better things to do than to deal with this nonsense. All right, the police show up. They're like, okay, listen, Miss Jester, Mrs. Jester, look, I know we know that you are the ball keeper of Blue Ash, Ohio. It's this boy's first football maybe he saved his money or whatever story. Listen, just give him his ball back. And she says, no. And the police are like, well, and she's like, well, what? You're not getting the ball back. That's all there is to it. I told them, and I'm telling you, you're not getting the ball back. And they said, okay, listen. They probably went into their stupid little dumb laptop in their car. You know, you're thinking that these guys got better things to do. Apparently in Blue Ash, maybe not a lot's going on. So they look up in their little log book. And they're like, well, you know, technically, Dan, this is a case of theft. Okay. It's a case of theft. So they go to her and they said, hey, listen, you're stealing the ball. If you don't give the ball back to them, then we're going to have to cite you. We're going to give you a summons and you're going to have to go to court for theft, right? So one of the officers pulls out his old, good old trusty ticket book to write her a citation. He writes up the citation and says, okay, sign your name right here. You're going to have to go to court to answer to this charge or whatever. And she says, I ain't signing that. He's like, what do you mean you're not signing that? She said, what, that citation? No, I ain't signing nothing. And now the police are looking at each other because we all know what happens when you are given a citation, whether it's a ticket or whatever, and you don't sign it. When you don't sign it, you go to jail. Now, when you sign it, you're not saying you're guilty of the crime. All you're doing is you're just saying, I'm going to show up to court. I promise. That's all that is. So she says, let me see that pen. So he gives her the citation. She takes the pen and she threw it about 1,500 meters up into the sky. It probably broke the Guinness Book of World Records of pen tossing. That cop never seen that pen. I heard to this very day that pen is still in the air flying. She threw it so hard. She said, I'm not signing no freaking citation. I didn't do anything wrong. This is my house. I told those boys to stop throwing their stupid tennis balls and footballs or whatever ball. I'm tired of it. Now leave me alone. Well, they can't just leave now because she's refusing to sign the citation. Well, you know, they threaten her. They say, listen, if you don't sign the ticket, we're going to have to take you to jail. And she said, well, what you waiting for? Huh? I ain't God all day. I'm 89. Do it. Now, she's really putting these cops in a bind because they don't want to arrest her. But the problem is they got this call. They can't necessarily tell the complainant, whatever you call it, that forget about your football. But you don't want to arrest an 89-year-old woman because what if you hurt her or something like that? And they, you know, this cop, he gets his handcuffs and he's like twirling them around, right? He's twirling them around and he said, listen, if you don't sign this citation, kiddo, I'm gonna put these handcuffs on you and you ain't gonna like it. And she said, try me. She was adamant. She was not giving the football back. And she's like, come do it. Come. Bring it on. And they did. I'm about a mile from where Edna used to live. Up ahead is the Blue Ash Police Department. Got the man over there. I wonder how many 89-year-old women he's arrested before. You know, I love stories like this, thug life stories, you know what I mean? People not taking it, people standing up to the man. As a matter of fact, as a special ode to Edna, not only did I not wear my seatbelt arriving to this location, I also did 32 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Sticking it to the man. So they arrested this lady, which some would say she kind of forced them to, whatever you might want to think about it. So they take her down this street and they take her to the police station right here. The car pulls right into that driveway. The police car with 89-year-old Edna Jester in the backseat, handcuffed like a criminal. And you know what they were probably telling her during that long ride to the station, right? Station is right here. They're probably telling her, you know, you're facing 6 months in jail, right? $1,000 fine for this crime that you committed. She said 6 months, is that all? She said, well, you know what? My knitting's been getting a little bit rusty, so that'll just give me plenty of time to crochet a couple sweaters for my great-grandchildren. I imagine she was a tough cookie, that Edna Jester. So the car with her would have brought her right here to this restricted area. It says police parking only. Do not enter. Lamont, stop where you're going. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 straight to jail. So they would have brought her right there, right there, into that door right there, as these police officers are coming next to me. She would have got out, went right through there, and went right to jail. Now, whatever ended up happening to Edna Jester, right? So she was behind me in this police substation for about 2 hours or so. I don't think there was a bail. I think they released her on her own recognizance. So she's there about 2 hours, like I said, and then she gets a ride from one of her family members, and they bring her back home to her castle, and she probably just sat right back on that porch, folded her arms like this, and waited for another ball to, she dared somebody. I double dog dare you to throw that ball in my yard. Absolutely amazing. We have one more stop to make to conclude this video. We're gonna visit the final resting place of Edna Jester, and we're gonna pay our respects to a woman who stood up for what she believed in. Let's get going. And here we are, our final stop. We are at the Rest Haven Cemetery, not very far from where Edna Jester lived, and this is her grave right here. And I got a special guest with me. Tell everybody what your name is.
My name is Cindy Fields, and I'm Edna Jester's granddaughter.
And you messaged me about a week or two ago, and you told me this story, and you texted me, and I think I called you right away.
Immediately.
Yes, and I said, I was kind of like, I didn't know what to say, because it was, I mean, it's a great story, just in the fact that with the whole, with the football. She's buried next to her husband, that's Charles Jester. And you told me earlier this is
my dad.
That's your dad, Donald Vanover. Okay, so whose idea was it about burying her with the football?
That was kind of a family decision. We were down in the basement and we came across all the balls that she had collected over the years. And
How many balls were down there? Like what, 20, 50, 100?
they're probably 50. It was a big box full of
Oh,
baseball,
wow.
footballs, basketballs.
Yeah, everything. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
frisbees, you name it.
Oh,
Whatever,
frisbee.
yeah.
Okay, she collected frisbees too. Okay.
Yes, whatever can be thrown in a yard was collected.
Confiscated.
There, yeah. But it just was a family decision after we went and seen her for ourselves at the funeral home.
Okay.
And then we came across the balls, and it's like, well, we might as well end it correctly.
Yeah. Tell us who she was as a person. Maybe earlier in the video, I made it seem like she was like, that's mine now. But who was she, minus the whole balls in the yard thing?
She was very loving, caring towards family, but very strict in some ways, to where when I was growing up as a kid, I was not allowed to have any toys out in the yard unless I kept them between the driveway and the fence. That way it couldn't go in anybody's yards. The fence would get it from one way, and then it'd end up in the driveway if it went the other. We were not allowed to have anything outside except for right there. And she always told us, don't ever throw anything in anybody's yards. Don't even put your toe in anybody's yard. Just
Oh,
stay
so she
away.
was strict about just private property and just
Yes.
keep. Okay.
Yes.
Random question here. Was she a good cook?
Oh my gosh, she was.
And you were telling me about her famous tomatoes.
Yes, her tomatoes. She grew to us the world's biggest, juiciest tomatoes in the world. And it got to the point where she was producing so many tomatoes each summer when she had started getting them off the vines. I would ask Grandpa, he'd sit there shaking his head like, oh no, oh no. I said, Grandpa, what's wrong? He says, here we go again. Tomato this, tomato that, tomato, 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 tomato.
But Charles here, he loved her tomatoes.
Oh, he loved them.
Yeah, no, he loved her tomatoes. And you were telling me he was a good guy. This is your step grandpa.
My step grandpa, but he's always been my grandpa my whole life.
Right on. So he's a good guy. And,
Yes, very sweet.
okay.
He took on 3 kids and raised them as his own.
Oh, he raised her kids from the
Yes.
first marriage.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay. And I noticed that your dad passed away pretty early. He was 64 years old.
Right.
What did he pass away from, if you don't mind me asking?
He had liver cancer from cirrhosis of the liver, never had a drink in his life.
Oh, wow.
And I think they said he might have had hepatitis B, I think it was, which led to it.
Okay.
But we're not quite sure on that one.
And at the foot of your father, that's your son right there. You know,
Yes.
he doesn't have a headstone, but you're working on getting that.
Right.
And he passed away how many years ago?
It'll be 7 years, November 11th.
Okay. And about Edna, what was her favorite TV show? What did she do? Like when she wasn't working, what would she do other than collect children's balls and keep them forever?
She was always out in her yard. She was always weeding, taking care of her flowers, anything she can do outside, she was outside. And then come nighttime, she was so frugal that if you stopped over at her house and knocked on the door and it was dark out, she'd be in there watching TV in the dark. She would not turn the lights on, trying to save money.
Hey, now that is a man's fantasy right there.
Yeah.
He's saving Charles here a couple bucks. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they sat in the dark a lot. But she was a penny pincher.
Oh, okay. Well,
she liked Inside Edition, and
and she was on that show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was on Inside Edition, Entertainment Tonight. Dr. Phil wanted her, but she refused to go.
She didn't like Dr. Phil, or?
No, she did not like Dr. Phil.
Oh, who doesn't like Dr. Phil? He's okay. She's pleading the fifth on that one. Okay, and well, listen, I thank you very much, and I'm sure that everyone watching thanks you for telling me this story, because it reminded me, because my grandmother was similar, very strict, but she kind of eased up a little bit in her older age. And I believe my grandmother would probably do something like that. You know, you throw a Nerf dart ball or whatever they call it in there, it belongs to me.
Right.
And no, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was just a fantastic story.
You're more than welcome. I thought you'd enjoy it.
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed reenacting what I think she would have said to the police. So anyways, rest in peace to Charles, Edna, your father, Donald, and your son's name?
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony. All right. And you said you're going to be here too when that day comes. But let's hope that it's not. Let's hope it's 100 years away.
Yes, I will be above Edna, my grandma, and then my youngest son, my baby, will be above my grandpa Charles.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're out of here. Are you hungry or anything?
No.
No? I'm. You want to watch me eat at Bob Evans?
I can watch it.
Okay, she's gonna watch me eat at Bob Evans, and if she ever so as much as tries to attempt to take a piece of toast, I will bat your hand. I will bat your hand like Edna would have done. No, that is my omelet.
No, I should have brought you out. I have a crock pot full of green beans and ham cooking. I should have brought you out a bowl.
I got you, kid. All right, guys, we're out of here. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I will see you up on the next vlog, live, but not live, but still alive by the grace of God. Me here with Cindy. We're out of here. We're going to catch up with you on the next one. Well, at least me. I don't know where you're going to go.
I wish I could be.
Well, I got to go. I got to hit to Kentucky. I'll catch up with y'all later. Have a good one. Peace out.